Welcome to Sacred Magic. Violet is on a quest to bring sacredness back into our everyday experiences. Anyone can have an extraordinary life when they are able to tap into their sacred magic within. Violet and her guests will be sharing their divine passions, inspirations, and stories of connecting with their sacred magic. We are so happy you have joined us today. Let's get started with your host, the magical creator of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Violet Rayne.
Hi, welcome to Sacred Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Vialet Rayne, and my guest with me today is Lynn Mortensen. She is one of my students, one of my community members, and a volunteer here at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. I wanted to be able for her to share some of her experiences she's had here at the center. Now, Lynn met us at Body, Mind, and Spirit about 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago. And Tom gave her a purple bag. And I'm going to let her share her experience with finding us and how she had no idea we were here.
Right, exactly. And thank you for having me today. I'm honored. It's a privilege and such a blessing to be here with you. Yes, it was back in March of 2021. And I was attending Body, Mind, Spirit again. And this time I came around the corner and there was your canopy for Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. And I was intrigued by it because you weren't actually selling anything. It was just a whole bunch of cards and you had great staff members there. And I was kind of eyeing it when Tom, your wonderful husband, he is such a delight, he's so friendly, walks up to me and I'm wearing purple, my signature color. And he walked up to me and he said, "Do you like purple?" And I said, "Oh, yes, I love it." And he said, "Well, then this tote is for you." And it was a purple tote. And I said, "Well, that's very sweet. How much is it?" And well, no, it's free. And I'm looking at it and Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. And I said, "Great. Who are you?" And he said, "We actually have a metaphysical store and we have a retail store and we have an academy over there for learning and a whole learning center." And I said, "This is great. Where is this?" And he said, "It's in Old Town Littleton." Well, I've been searching for metaphysical stores for the past, previous to meeting you, about 3 years previous. I've been everywhere from all the way up in Broomfield, all the way through Denver, down to Colorado Springs, and up into Manitou. And turns out you're out my back door. In the wintertime, if I stand on my deck, I can actually see Old Town Littleton. So it was wonderful. I always say that your blessings come at the exact time they're supposed to, never upon our design. And so it was great to meet Tom that day. He took me in and showed me inside your canopy where all of your cards were. You had great staff members there who explained to me the different classes and things that they offered. So left there, came home, and about a week later was my first time to come to the center. Now, when I was at the Body, Mind, Spirit, I hadn't met you yet. You were actually teaching a class there, one of the lecture halls. And so when I came here, and I've shared this with you before, Vialet, I think this is amazing. It's March, it's cold, and I'm walking up the staircase, and this is not an exaggeration. There was this incredible warmth that surrounded me right as I was going up the staircase. And I can't explain it, but it just felt right. Then I opened the door to come into the center. And the best way I can describe it, it's like walking into Christmas morning for an adult. It's just magical and it feels good. The aura, the energy. You speak so frequently about love and light is what you bring into the center. And it's abundant from the moment you walk in. And the longer you stay, the more you feel it. So I walked into the center and your staff member was there and said, "Welcome." And I said, "Thank you." And she said, "Is this your first time here?" And I was intrigued by that your staff members would know their customers so well that it was obvious that this was my first time in. And I said, "Yes, I have this great tote that I brought in. I met this wonderful man." And she said, "That would be Tom. He is the husband of our director, our founder, and our magical creator, Vialet." And I remember thinking, magical creator, that is a great title. I mean, that's just all kinds of fun right there. And she said, "Okay, so what brought you in?" And I said, "Well, I understand that you teach classes." Now, I've been to many metaphysical centers before, and I have attended a couple classes here and there sporadically, but I love the fact that it was worded as an academy. So I said, well, what I'm really interested is in crystals. And so we started speaking about that. And of course, I could see all the crystals right there up in the center and at the retail area. And I just was intrigued by that. There's so many, and cards to describe each one. And she said, well, what are some of your other interests? And I said, well, I really love the moon. I love full moons. I love the energies of the moon. And she said, oh, well, then let me take you over to our moon section. And I'm like, you have a moon section? This is lead the way. I mean, this is fantastic. So we go around the corner and she shows me where the moon section is. And I loved it because there were new moon candles and full moon candles. And cards about how you created those, because you create a lot of those candles here. Mm-hmm. I've had the privilege of working with that with you. And the essential oils and the herbs and why they're used. Everything is explained. There was incense was there. There were books, all kinds of medallions and charms. It was just, and that was just for the moon alone. Now, what intrigued me was I zoned in on the moonology. That I just like the word. And so I pointed out, I said, what's this? I've actually seen these other places. And she said, well, these are oracle cards. And I said, that's great. What's an oracle? And here's what I love about your staff. If you are a seeker like I am and you're really wanting to learn more, but maybe a little intimidated because you feel like you need to know information before you actually go look for it, that's not the situation here at all. You just simply have to have a desire, an interest. And whatever your interest or desire is, you will find the answers here and a whole plethora of learning opportunities. So I had the courage to say, what's an oracle? And she said, it's actually an oracle deck. And I said, I've seen these in other retail stores before, but they're always wrapped in cellophane and wrapped up, so I don't know what's inside them. And she said, well, actually here, all of our oracle decks and tarot decks, we have it, not just a sample, we have an actual deck on display. And I said, okay, well, how does it work? So you have that table that's right there. She turned around and she explained, normally you would do this, but in this case, she said, let me ask you a question. Do you know your sign? And I said, yes, I'm an Aries and I love the full moon. So she actually went through the deck and pulled out Aries and full moon. And laid that out for me. And she said, and then you take the book and you read about it. And so then I said, can I just take a look at these? And so she kind of went back over and I read about it and I was just intrigued. And that's when I really started to notice that every single deck you have, Oracle and Tarot as well, there's a full deck open for you to look at. And you have these incredible chairs like this upstairs. You can grab one, go sit down and look at it to see if it's resonating with you, if you're connecting with it in any way. And it's not just that. We're able to look at all the essential oils here, to open them and smell them, maybe put a dot on and read about what is in each essential oil. I don't know about you, but how many times have you bought essential oils? Because they're sealed and they're not cheap. And to come home and open and go, oh, that's not for me. Well, here you can actually sample each and every one of them. You can play with the crystals and you can look at all the different books that you have. And it wasn't just a moon section. From there, if it's shamanism or if it's Egyptian or fairies or dragons, or you actually have a children's section. How beautiful is that?
Well, kids are learning, and our whole goal here at the center is to create an experience. Mm-hmm. Because I think as a society, we are craving experiences. Mm-hmm. We want to be able to experience things and touch things and work with them. Mm-hmm. And you're right. How many times have we bought a deck, ordered it online, got it, opened it up, played with it a few times and went, it's not me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't resonate with me, or this oil doesn't resonate. And our whole goal is we want to create a safe place, just as you said, where you can come in here and explore mm-hmm. and discover and ask questions. We're not here to push anything on you. We're not here to say, well, you can only believe in what we mm-hmm. believe. We're here to hey, if you're curious, let's sit down. Let's look at some things. What can we give you? So I love the fact that you do that. And we have so many community members that come in and they say their favorite part of our store is after you've been here a while, my staff knows your name.
Yes, that's true.
And you come in and they're like, hey, Lynn, what's going on? What's happening? Because we want to create that family community connection with everyone. So I know also you've taken several classes here at the center. Talk to us about your experiences with some of the classes that you've taken.
The classes are phenomenal, and my wish is to complete every single class that's offered here at the center. Fortunately, you're right here, so I'd love to be able to do that in time. But what I've loved already is the first day I came in, I wanted to do a moon ceremony class. Now, it happened to also be, it ties in with a theme, and at that time it was going to be medicine bags. I have this absolute adoration for Native American cultures, and I just love the Native American cultures, and that's what we were going to be learning about. Now, like I said, I hadn't met you yet, but I was told that you teach the class, so I signed up and I came in for that first class, and all these women were in there in the room. If my classrooms had been decorated like that when I was growing up, my learning experience and education experience would have been entirely different. I've never walked into a classroom that looks like your classrooms. It's so inviting and welcoming. And that was it. And I walked up. I had seen your picture on a card, so I knew it was you. And I walked up and I said, hi, my name is Lynn. This is my first time. She said, and you said, yes, I know. This is your first class. Welcome to the family. And that touched me. So you didn't know me, but that was the immediate response from you, and it was genuine, Vialet. It was absolutely genuine. Welcome to the family. The girls in the class obviously knew I was new. Come over here, sit with us. My name's so-and-so. And so I'm immediately invited in to sit down and wrapped up with all of these women, learning about what I wanted to learn about. And it was expanded on because you also add a different theme to each one of those. I think I have one more left this month, and I will have completed all the moon ceremony classes. So I'll be on to the next ones for sure. So just that alone is just so inviting. What I love about it, you don't have to have a previous knowledge about any of this to want to learn about it. No. You just need to have the desire. And if you have the desire, when I went to sign up, I said, so I don't have to have a background in this? And she said, no, sign your name right here. Pay and you're in. I love it because for me, it was like coming into a college, an academy with all my favorite topics for once, and no pre-math requisite was required. Yeah.
We all love that math, right? Well, I remember your medicine bag, even to this day. She was so excited. And, I know Lynn today, but it was the first time meeting her, and her enthusiasm and her passion and her excitement to do this. And then she had feathers sticking out of the bag at the top because her bag was exploding with all these things. And she's like, really? I get to do all of this? I can have all this? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yep. Well, and you told me because the other girls theirs didn't look like mine. And I said, is this wrong? And I loved it. You said, you can't do anything wrong in these classes. This is how you want it to look. You're designing it for your purpose. That made me feel really good. I didn't have to actually follow a guide plan of exactly how to do it. There were instructions, which was important. And there was explanation. For instance, you were the one who explains the north, south, east, west energies with each the full moon and the new moon. Something I didn't know about. I've just been drawn to it. So you did that. I furthered on from there and went into your crystal classes because that's what brought me in originally. And so I started out with your crystal connection classes, which were phenomenal. And as I was doing those, you decided to change it. You told me, I'm going to try and make it better. And I remember thinking, how could you possibly make this better? When you come to the crystal connection classes, you write books that we get to take home. That's part of the class. So each time you leave a crystal connection, which is now crystal alchemy, you get to go home with a book that you've written. And so from crystal connection, you went on to crystal alchemy. I have one more left in that series too. And then that one's completed. I feel so good about that. But you incorporated essential oils and herbs. You, in each one of the books that you do, you lay out crystal grids and recipes. And there's specific sections for each and every month that, for me, I can resonate and connect with each one of these sections. I keep the books upstairs right by my bedroom because forever I'll be up there going, what did she say about this? And I can go right back to the book and go, that's what she said. I'm going to do that on how to set these up. So you took a crystal connection class and turned it into crystal alchemy. And it sells out every single month. It's incredible. And because you've expanded so much more to incorporate with us. So we can use those and resonate with that. I've also done the sacred sound bath. I had actually attended one previous to the ones I've attended here, and it's just night and day. You and Corinne, your shaman, she is just phenomenal. And the way the two of you work together with the sounds that you're creating in there, it's healing. It's profound, and you explain why that works all the way through from your toes on up. It's a beautiful room to do those sound baths in, so that's great. And then volunteering. Now I've been volunteering for a little bit over a year, and one of your incredible volunteers, Carla, she's amazing. She put together a site for us where we can just go to a link and now sign up for all these volunteer positions. And there's a group of us that seem to, go for each and every one of these. And I love that. So, that's another opportunity. It's not just coming in and purchasing things. And the variety of classes that are offered, you offer so much to the community, give back to the community. There's endless opportunities for people like me, students and customers, to come in and help out in other areas. And with you giving that opportunity for us to have that, there's a connection that we feel. We feel a belonging. And I think especially after COVID, there's a lot of us still floundering out there, but you don't when you're in here. It's an instant warmth and welcoming. And the volunteer, I just love doing that. And there's a group of us that just keep coming back. So
the volunteer program was something that I've really fought for a long time. And Carla sat down with me one day and said, you do so much for us. Mm-hmm. Let us help you because you're trying to do all these things. Let us come and help. And I was like, I don't even know what that looks like. What would a volunteer do? And it's been fun because we really launched a kind of a formal program this fall. And all of us have seen and felt the relief of some of the stuff that we haven't had to worry about because our volunteers come in and decorate our center. Mm-hmm. They come in and pack it up. Mm-hmm. They come and help us set up for fairs, which are really big for us, and moving tables and setting those up. They come and help us make candles for the store and sprays. And so there's all these really cool things that we do in the center, and they get to come and be part of it with us. And I just love that. And you're right. There is a group of volunteers. Mm-hmm. I think there's like 15 or 20 now.
Yeah, it's getting bigger.
That kind of come and go, and people are like, I can volunteer. I can really come in and help. And I'm like, everything from addressing Christmas cards, because I mail Christmas cards, to, wrapping gifts. We do all kinds of crazy stuff that they come in and they really enjoy. And honestly, we were wrapping gifts this week for one of our events, and I'm like, Nikki, I'm really worried. There's only 3 gifts per person, and there's 4 people coming in to wrap. I only have 12 gifts for them to wrap. It's really not a lot. She goes, don't worry about it. They're going to get in there. They're going to have fun. Mm-hmm. They're going to connect. And before you knew it, you guys were connecting. It took them 2 hours to wrap 3 gifts.
It did. Yep.
Because they're all visiting. Mm-hmm. And then somebody brought me a gift of colored wax, and then they're coloring their hair in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. You just never know what you're going to get into at Discover Your Spirit.
And that's the beautiful thing. We were wrapping the gifts. And Laura and I, we become friends, and we do classes together, etc. There were 2 new women that I had seen in class from here to there, but now, because we were wrapping gifts, and you're exactly right. You've created this environment where we're welcome, we feel needed and wanted, and we have a purpose here. So these friendships were taking place. This was just last night. Uh-huh. And these friendships, 2 nights ago. And these friendships are taking place in this beautiful room with lots of chocolate everywhere. And and we're wrapping and talking, and And actually, all 4 of these women are going to be back tonight for our one this afternoon, 3 of us tonight for the Oracle party.
Yeah, it's really...
So we can keep coming back for these things. It's just beautiful.
Well, even the Crystal Alchemy class that has 35 to 40 people, it's always big. Fun because they've been taking this journey for months now together where they come for one class a month. And it's like, home week when they come in. Hi, how are you? Da-da-da, how are you? It takes me 10 minutes to get them all settled. Okay, guys, we're really here for Crystal class. Let's all get settled so we can get started. But, my whole desire and heart was to create a family, a community where people felt welcome. Because I feel like for many of us that step into our spiritual gifts, it's kind of an alien type thing outside of the center. And with families and friends that don't understand who we are and what we're connecting to and what means the most for us, that I wanted a safe place that no matter what you believe, you can come in and connect, and there's no judgment or criticism. Hey, I don't believe that. That's okay. I am not one of those teachers that say you must believe everything that I believe, because we're all on our own separate journey, and I want you to have your separate journey and believe what you need to believe. My husband is atheist. It is not my place to tell him what to believe. It is his journey, his choice, what he's chose. I still hold my Christianity really close because that's where I started. And I believe it is my foundation. And people might think that's kind of strange. How can you be Christian and psychic and a medium? But it works for me and it feels right for me. And so whatever feels right should be what you should be allowed to do. But I love Miss Lynn. Lynn is always very welcoming. She's enjoyed being here. She lives really close. And I just wanted her to share her perspective with the community and out on the podcast. We'll also put this up on the website so that people can see it. Because this is really my goal, my heart desire is for people to come and feel comfortable and feel like they're part of the family.
I agree. And I would say for anyone who, if they've seen your videos before, or aware of your center, but are maybe hesitant to come in because they're not sure, just come in. Because any inhibitions you have are going to fade away instantly. Your staff is absolutely exceptional. All of them are exceptional and well-knowledged in anything that you're interested in. And always take the time. I've said this to you before, when I'm in, even if it's busy, I feel like I'm your only customer. Because your staff takes that kind of time. Walk past Nikki's, go past Nikki's office. Hi, Lynn. It's wonderful. Even my sweetheart, Dave, who is a non-believer, but thinks what I do here is fantastic, loves it, encourages it. He will come in all the time to get me gift cards so I can continue taking classes. He's not a customer. He's not a student. Your staff knows him and acknowledges him when he comes here. So I think that's fantastic. And I've mentioned this to you before, you have this beautiful, what I call butterfly or ripple effect that goes out past everything that you're doing here. And how much that affects us is now going back out because people like my sweetheart Dave will come in to get gift cards. He connects with some of the things. I just bought the dragon for him, and he holds it and loves it. This is not anything that was his deal before. It's not his forte, and yet he thinks it's great. And there's been little bits of him he's finding to be a little more intrigued with. But truly, anyone who would want to come in, there's so many classes. The calendars are up to show you cards so you can read about them. The website to go to, the YouTube videos. That's my favorite. I just put it on play all. And that's how you get to know about different practitioners here, staff, events that are going on, just through those YouTube videos as well.
Well, I love it because you guys were here the other day decorating the tree. And they're talking about, we read your article. And it said blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you guys read my articles?
Yes.
And they're like, everyone.
Yes.
And I'm like, really? Yep, all of them. And Lynn and several told me that they just push play on the YouTube channel all day long and listen to me all day. God love them.
Well, it's inspirational. And, and I can say even, back at times when I wasn't able to leave the house as much, you just want that inspiration. And I need to connect with people. That, Vialet, in all honesty, you were my connection with other people. At times I wasn't able to leave the house as often. So I would just put that on. I would always learn something new. Yes, we read your newsletters because they're fantastic. Dave even took the Dragon Energy. Do you have Dragon Energy? He answered the questions on that one. So.
I want it to be fun and playful and creative. And, a lot of spiritual leaders, a lot of communities today offer what we call membership programs where you pay a monthly fee to have access to their content, their videos, their articles, all of their stuff that they have. And we have taken a real stand, and Nikki always reminds me that is not what you wanted. You wanted people to be able to connect. So if you think about it, if you go out and look at our YouTube channel, we have over 500 videos right now at this moment posted on that channel. And we have 5 years of articles, and I write an article every month. So there are tons and tons, and we have team members that do videos and team members that write articles. So there's a ton of free information out there for people to connect with, and you can connect with it from anywhere in the world and connect with the information, including all of our online classes. So it's just not in person. We do a lot of stuff out there so that people can have that connection.
And I have been to so many of the different, like I said, all the metaphysical stores, all the way up and down. And there's some good ones. There are. I've never been anywhere that offered this place. Discover Your Spiritual Gifts offers so much to so many. And it's not about the dollars. Yes, you're running a business, but that's that little part of it. What you do for the people who come in, your students, your customers, and what goes out back into the community, and you offer so much of that. It's just free. Just that willingness. Just come in, have an interest, have a willingness to learn. You don't have to have any prerequisites to learn any of this. And your life is expanded. It opens horizons with it. My oldest son, Ben, calls you my tribe. He lives in Taos, and when I said I was doing candles, he sent me a text that said, "Mom, have a great time making candles with your tribe." My youngest son, Jake, lives in Florida. He's 27, and the sacred sound baths he's been just intrigued with because he's very much into meditation. So here, by what Mom's doing here, I have one in Taos and one in Florida, and it's filtering out to them. It just goes on, and it's all because of your willingness, your generous, kind heart that you have. It's just immense with you, and it just flows. You're all about love and light.
I love that. Well, thank you so much today for talking to me and taking the time to do this and coming down to do this. I so appreciate it.
Thank
and
you for
I
asking.
love having you as part of our family.
And I'll be back tonight for the party.
All right. I can't wait.
Thanks.
Well, thank you for watching Sacred Magic Podcast. I hope you'll tune into our other channels and our other information. And I hope to see you really soon at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts.
Are you seeking an online spiritual education resource? Do you crave to know more about various topics of spirituality? Discover Your Spiritual Gifts Academy offers a wide variety of programs including Crystal Alchemy, Tarot, The Journey of the Fool, Akashic Record Reading Certification, and much more. These online courses allow you to learn on your schedule and at your own pace. You can find out more at www.discoveryourspiritualgifts.academy. Thank you for joining us. To find out more about Vialet, head over to discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. You can also send a personal message to Vialet through email, violet@discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. If you love the show, subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Until next time, remember, we are meant to have abundant and joyful lives. We hope to see you soon at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts.